fuck a plan B. Them little shits don't even work. Let them nut all in my guts and then I go and pop my perk. Let them nut all in my mouth. I think I got some on my shirt. Kept my $50 and I went and blew it on some yurt. Yeah, fuck a plan B. Them little shits don't even work. Let them nut all in my guts and then I go and pop my perk.
And this is what the black community glorifies. This is at the forefront, and this is the representation of the black community today. We're going to have to talk about this. Let's hop into this video. What's up, guys? I'm your host, Derek Thomas here. Welcome to DTTV. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and let's hop into the video. Today's video, we are going to be covering, hold on, let me get this disgusting off. Let me get this trash off my screen. Today's video, we're going to be covering by a YouTuber that I just got personally put on by. Her name is Amala Ekpunobi. Amala Ekpunobi. She clearly has African descent, and you know, I'm rocking with her content. I'm gonna leave a link down below to all her information where you guys can, you know, check out this video after this one. Title of the video: She's right. Black American culture is dying. Ghetto black people are to blame. Wow, that is a very, very, very strong title, because I can already see people hopping into the comment section and saying that, why are you talking bad about your own people and all this other stuff. Let me tell you something. I'm black. I grew up in the United States. My family, they're from the island, so you're probably going to call me a tether, or you're probably going to be like, he's not really a black American. Either or, I grew up in the United States since I was 5 years old. I'm just as much as a black American as you are. So I don't want you to tell me anything. It's just that I didn't grow up in no ghetto slums and project housing. My parents were like, nope, we're not going to be around that. But anyway, let's hop into the video.
No, I'm black too. And as such, this being my ethnic culture as well, I have a right to have something to say about what I'm seeing going on.
She's
Facts.
right. Black American culture is dying, and ghetto black people are somewhat responsible. Let's talk about it. Ooh, I can already see some of the hate comments coming in on this video, but we're gonna talk about it nonetheless, because that's what we do on this channel. And if for some reason these spicy takes get us taken off the internet, you guys can support me on Patreon by becoming a patron. Shout out to everybody who has done so far. You know how this goes. Today we're gonna be reacting to a video titled Black American Culture is Dying. Ghetto blacks are to blame. I saw this pop up on my YouTube feed. I said, click, I gotta hear this hot take. And now I've decided to bring it to you guys. So let's react.
Here is my little 2 cents that nobody asked for. I am sick of seeing Black Americans in the media, on social media, in the news, doing crime, walking around next to naked, the women, the men perpetuating gang violence, substance abuse. The absolute worst of our community is oversaturating the media, even though they make up a small percentage of all of Black Americans.
She is right. She is absolutely right. When I do these videos, and I do videos on reactions of people being arrested or people stealing, a lot of these videos are black people. We are such a small population in the United States, but we commit most of the crimes. Growing up in Florida, growing up in Orlando, when I would go down to downtown Orlando, all you see is ghetto ass black women walking around naked. And I'm just going to be straight up, and I'm not going to filter myself. I'm not going to filter it. Ghetto ass black women walking around naked. The amount of clothes that they are wearing, they might as well be naked. When I'm scrolling on my YouTube shorts, and I'm a big pro-gun guy, you know what I mean? And I'm scrolling down, I see a lot of young black boys walking around with Glocks, ARs, AKs, and we all know these guys aren't licensed. These guys aren't trained. These guys aren't special. Most of these men aren't specialists in guns. They're not. They're glorifying gang and gun culture. Trust me, because there is a difference between somebody that is, you know, pro-gun American and some hoodlum that wants a Glock with a switch. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a clear, visible difference. You can tell on how the person presents himself. You can tell how the person, you know, showcases their arms on camera. It's ridiculous, man. Hey, but your ancestors marched, got whipped, and bitten by dogs for you to act like this today is ridiculous.
The decay of our morality within Black communities has been slowly declining over the past 20 years, and no one is talking about it, no one is saying anything about it or trying to address it. And if you do, you are often told that you're policing Black bodies. If you say Black women, stop getting on the internet and in the media, twerking, walking around with little clothes on. People tell you that you're policing bodies, policing Black bodies.
Let me add on to her list because I think she's going to go on. They are going to accuse you of being a white supremacist,
Facts.
of being whitewashed,
Facts.
of acting white, of
True.
being an Uncle Tom, a coon, trading in your race card, not actually being Black. There is a list for the actual accusations that you will get in the wake of giving a very valid criticism of what is happening within Black culture.
It's true. I've even been called by this new group that appeared out of nowhere called FBAs, Foundational Black Americans. I guess they are the descendants of the slaves that originally came to the United States, which sounds pretty ridiculous because, you know, even though my family wasn't shipped to the United States, because let's keep it real, slavery was like Amazon, it was booming. Even though my family wasn't transported to the United States, I'm not considered to be one of them because I'm not an FBA. You know, growing up, I've been around people that look at me and say, Derek, you're the whitest Black guy I know. I personally take that in offense of my Blackness, calling me the whitest Black guy they know. I can't make this shit up, guys. I really can't make this shit up.
An astounding point when she says the Black culture that we see on the internet, in media and entertainment is not indicative of all Black people. I cannot stress that enough. It is a very small section of our population that for
Facts.
some reason is getting more airtime. And you could attribute that to some sort of conspiracy against Black people, or it could be just general cultural decay that our society is so sick that it wants to see these things and that it approves of these things. And yes, it is shaking your ass on the internet and twerking, the Sexy Reds, the Nickis, the Cardi B's of the world. It is also the gang violence that is encouraged and perpetuated within the Black community, which again represents a small section of the population, but it is there nonetheless. And if you try to talk about it and call it out, they say, oh, well, you're not really Black, or you're a coon, or you're a traitor. And in my opinion, anybody of any color, race, creed, religion, whatever you want to call it, should be able to have this conversation, because this sort of culture not only impacts Black people, it impacts everyone. Let's keep watching.
It's respectability politics. If you are Black and you speak your piece on what we're seeing in the media, if you don't like seeing the low morality that is often portrayed about the Black community in the media, from the trap music to the Black women twerking in music videos and all over social media, the Sukihanas and the Sexy Reds of the world. If you are Black and you take issue with it and you talk about it, you are usually called bourgeois, sedity, uppity. It's respectability politics. You're policing Black bodies and the like. And it's like, no, I'm Black too.
Black Americans are the only group of people that take their degeneracy, that take their just the ratchetness and the unwantedness and put it at the forefront. We're the only group of people that do that in the United States, I swear. Bro, I swear, you don't see well-off white people talking about trailer trash and inbreeding and Confederacy and all that bullshit. You don't see that. You don't see other groups of people taking the degeneracy and putting it at the forefront of who the people are. Black Americans are the only people that do that. Straight up. They do it through hip hop. They do it through fashion. The women display it. The men display it. And the CDC displays it because you can look at the crimes.
As such, this being my ethnic culture as well, I have a right to have something to say about what I'm seeing going on.
Okay. And then they'll tell you you're just not black enough. You just simply don't understand. These are the things that black culture created, and we should sort of pedestalize these things because we do pedestalize blackness in our society, but we've really mucked it up to her point. I think she is exactly hitting the nail right on the head here when she's talking about it. And interestingly enough, I've spoken about these issues many times on the show. Of course, I am half white and half black, and the black side of my family is from Nigeria. So we're not technically, what do they call it? Foundational blacks. I'm not descendant.
I just said this. I just said this. And I was right. I knew she had some sort of African, to her because of her name. Ekpunobi. Amala Ekpunobi. Hopefully if you're reviewing this video, Amala, please let me know if I'm saying your name right. But yes, I just said this about this whole foundationally black group.
Descendant of slaves. So people will give me this argument of not only are you not black, but you're not able to talk about black culture because you don't technically participate in black culture. But on the other side of the coin, they will say, why are you talking about, conservative values or these ideas or challenging the racial narratives that we see in this world? You're always going to be seen as an N-word to white people. And you will see that a lot. Just search through the comments. They'll say, oh, you're acting white, but they will always see you as black. So which one is it? Am I a participant in black culture or am I not a participant in black culture? You guys let me know in the comments down below. And I'll be the first to say, I love a lot of rap music. I do draw the line at like Sexy Red and Pound Town and, the Suki Hana type blackness that is being portrayed.
It's degeneracy music. It's Jezebel music. It's whore music. Bro, I can't make this up. I really can't make this up. I really can't make this up. Black women in the US, and I'm not going to say all black women, but the ones that, black people are allowing the media to put to the forefront and be the representation of black people are not good, just not good people. They're ghetto. They're out of control. Yo, we just saw that video of homegirl talking about popping Plan Bs like they're Skittles.
Fuck a Plan B, them little shits don't even work. Let them nut all in my guts and then I go and pop my perk. Let them nut all in my mouth, I think I got some on my shirt.
Like, I can't make this up. I can't make this up. I really can't. Hey, like I said, your forefathers and your ancestors got beaten and whipped and sprayed down by fire hose for you to act like this? Come on, man.
I enjoy it. I just don't attribute it to blackness. I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole and think that this is an accurate representation of blackness. And that's really where we're going wrong, thinking that this is somehow representative of an entire community and an entire culture. And you know how I feel about the word community. We won't go there in this video because we'll be here for hours. We'll do that another day. Let's continue watching.
Your average black American is a middle-class, working-class, blue-collar Jane and Joe.
Facts.
The ghetto subculture, black ghetto subculture that we see often portrayed and over inundated and oversaturating the media, those Black Americans make up a tiny, tiny percentage of Black Americans as a whole.
Facts.
But somehow they're in the media, overcompensating in the media, oversaturating the media. I know I don't just speak for myself when I say that I'm sick of seeing it, that it's gross, that it is destroying what Black culture actually is. It's co-opting Black culture as a whole and making it seem as though all of Black culture is ghetto subculture. I'm not the only Black American who takes issue with it. Because like I said, majority of Black America is middle class, not in the ghettos, not out here perpetuating gang violence, promiscuity.
That's facts. Majority of Black Americans aren't out there walking around with Glocks with switches. Majority of Black women aren't walking around half naked and popping Plan Bs. But why is this small, minuscule group becoming the representation of the people? It's absurd, it's ridiculous, and it really needs to stop. That type of culture that promotes gang violence, being criminals, being felons, drugs, sex, all that to be casted out. As Black people, we have to learn how to police ourselves, and when we see that shit, we need to cast it out. And the crazy thing about it is, in the hood, in these projects, the criminals and the thieves, everybody knows who the criminals and the thieves are, but when the police comes by, nobody wants to say anything. And when nobody doesn't say anything, the criminals and the thieves, they keep doing what they're doing, and everybody's affected. So it's counterproductive. If you want to change the community, bro, you got to snitch on them motherfuckers and send them to jail. You got to snitch on them kids and send them to jail. They need to send them kids to jail because, let's be real, they're kids. They're kids walking around out here with guns. They're chicks walking around half naked. Your daughter walking around half naked. Bro, it needs to be casted out. It needs to be banished. It needs to be looked down upon to the point where they don't want to do it no more. We have to police ourselves as Black people in the United States.
Even Black people who live in what is considered the ghetto, most of them are normal. Most of them are not subscribing to this stuff.
Facts.
Most of them are not actively members of gangs, and they want to see their neighborhoods cleaned up. They want to see the culture cleaned up, but
They want to see their neighborhoods cleaned up. They want to see the cultures cleaned up. But when the police comes by and ask, yo, who committed this crime? Who's out here selling these drugs? Who's out here stealing? They don't say anything. They don't say anything to the police. They don't tell the police anything, bro. So do they really want the communities cleaned up? They're too busy worried about, oh, that's my little baby. I don't want him going to jail or anything like that. No, he's ruining the community. He's bringing the demise on you, your family, and your people. And I don't even want to get into these single moms, because I believe they are the main components of why the Black community is the way it is, how it is today. But that's a whole new other different video I'll get into.
instead, we're saying that this is indicative of all Black culture and community, and we must preserve these things. And anybody who's trying to fight it, even if they are Black people themselves telling you this is not okay, they are race traitors, or they hate Black people, or even better, they are anti-Black, which how you can be that at the same time as being Black astounds me, but people will say that it is something that others are capable of.
And I don't care if you claim it's respectability politics. I guess so be it. Because this is gross. It's getting really gross out here how blatantly disrespectful and low class we're acting on social media and in the media, on the internet, on TV. And you can claim that this is someone else's set of moral standards, but no, it isn't. It isn't. Look at Black America in the 50s, in the 60s. Our moral standards back then drastically different from what we have today, or what we're convincing ourselves is a moral standard today.
And what's stopping Black Americans now from just becoming great again? What's stopping Black Americans from becoming great again? Nothing. Nothing. We are shooting ourselves in the foot deliberately. Deliberately. We are shooting ourselves in the foot. This is ridiculous.
Made, if we go back to the culture of the 1950s and 60s, what did you see within Black households? You saw two parents in the house. Not only two parents in the house, but two married parents in the house. They were closing the wealth and income gap that existed amongst Black, white people, and other races within the United States of America. Not only that, these people often looked down upon what would later become a Black ghetto culture, or at least that's how we see it today. A great resource that actually elaborates on these points is a book by Tom Sowell titled Black Rednecks and White Liberals, where they actually talk about the sort of ghetto Black culture that we see now, things like AAVE, African American Vernacular English, for those of you who are unaware, people who say words like ain't, y'all, you know, that sort of ghetto Black language. It actually was adopted from white people who came over to the United States, handed that language over to Southern Black people. And there was a deviation in the United States between Northern Black people and Southern Black people. And when these two cultures started to mend and Southern Black people started moving up north, a lot of Northern Black Americans said, you guys can move here, that's fine, but we're gonna operate with a little bit of decorum, right? We're gonna speak normal English, we are going to contribute to society, we are going to get married and have two-parent households and build nuclear families. And it was actually a point of contention between Northern Black people and Southern Black people. Not all of them, of course, but there are actual writings that he references in this book where people said, you know, hold up, you guys can come here, but we have to worry about conserving a proper culture. Now, you can blame white people for the existence and the transference of that culture into the Black community, but at some point we have.
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't blame white people for shit. I'm gonna keep it real. I do not blame white people for anything. I am not out here running in no victim Olympics. It is 2024. We are in the 20th century, and we are still out here acting a fool. You can't sit out here and be like, I'm acting like this because I'm being oppressed, or I'm acting like this because you're not being oppressed. Those who were slaves are dead. You've never been a slave. You've never experienced being a slave. I'm not going to say that you've never experienced, discrimination, prejudice moments, but you've never been a slave. Nah. I don't want to hear that, because I hear that a lot. Our ancestors were slaves, so I have a right to act like this. Shut the fuck up. No, you don't. No, you don't. I didn't want to end the video like that, guys, but I noticed when I'm doing a lot of these reviews and I'm trying to do my take as well as listen to the video, it runs on a little bit too long, and it's a little bit annoying just trying to edit through it. So I'm going to cut the video here. Shout out to Amala Ekpunobi. Amala Ekpunobi for her great take. I am going to link down her information down below so you guys can continue watching the video. I sincerely appreciated you guys. This is DTTV. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.